Hello, kindergarten. In preparation for our Dr. Seuss activity, we are going to read parts of the story If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss. It's a pretty good zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, and the fellow who runs it seems proud of it too. But if I ran the zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, I'd make a few changes. That's just what I'd do. The lions and tigers and that kind of stuff they have up here now are not quite good enough. You see things like these in just any old zoo. They're awfully old-fashioned. I want something new. So I'd open each cage, I'd unlock every pen, let the animals go and start over again. And somehow or other I think I could find some beasts of a much more unusual kind. A 4-footed lion's not much of a beast. The one in my zoo will have 10 feet at least. 5 legs on the left and 5 more on the right. Then people will stare and they'll say, "What a sight!" I'll get for my zoo a new sort of hen who roosts in another hen's topknot, and then another one roosts in the topknot of his, and another in his, and another in his, and so forth and upward and onward. Gee whiz! But that's just a start. I'll do better than that. They'll see me the next day in my zookeeper's hat, coming into my zoo with my elephant cat. If you want to catch beasts you don't see every day, you have to go places quite out of the way. You have to go places no others can get to. You have to get cold, and you have to get wet too. Up past the North Pole where the frozen winds squeal, I'll go and I'll hunt in my Skiegelmobile and bring back a family of what do you know? And that's how my new zoo, McGrew Zoo, will grow. I'll load up 5 boats with a family of jotes whose feet are like cows but wear squirrelskin coats, and sit down like dogs but have voices like goats, excepting they can't sing the very high notes. And then I'll go down to the wilds of Nantucket and capture a family of lunks in a bucket. Then people will say, "Now I like that boy heaps. His new zoo, McGrew Zoo, is growing by leaps." I'll capture one tiny, I'll capture one cute, I'll capture a deer that no hunter would shoot, a deer that's so nice he could sleep in your bed, if it weren't for those horns that he has on his head. In the far western part of southeast North Dakota lives a very fine animal called the iota, but I'll capture one who is even much finer in the northeastern west part of South Carolina. Most beasts are quite friendly, but still in some lands, some beasts are too dangerous to catch with bare hands. For those that are ugly and vicious and mean, I'll build a bad animal catching machine. It's rather expensive to build such a kit, but with it a hunter can never get bit. A zoo should have bugs, so I'll capture a thwirl whose legs are snarled up in a terrible snarl. And then I'll go out and I'll capture some chugs, some keen shooter, mean shooter, bean shooter bugs. I'll bring back a gusset, a gherkin, a gasket, and also a gooch from the wilds of Nantasket, and 8 Persian princes will carry the basket. But what their names are, I don't know, so don't ask it. Then the whole town will gasp, "Why, this boy never sleeps. No keeper before ever kept what he keeps. There's no telling what this young fellow will do." And then just to show them, I'll sail to Catrue and bring back an itchcooch, a preep, and a prue, a nurgle, a nerd, and a seersucker too. "Wow," they'll all cheer, "what this zoo must be worth. It's the gold-darndest zoo on the face of the earth." "Yes, that's what I'd do," said young Gerald McGrew. "I'd make a few changes if I ran the zoo."